Hello, in this short video, I just want to walk you through the new buyer enablement assessment and show you the 9 questions that you're going to answer just so that you can prepare, make sure that you've got the right information to hand. And then I'll give you a quick scan through the output that you'll receive and the personalized advice. So having got to the buyer enablement assessment, I'm just in a preview mode here. You're going to click through whether you're on desktop or on mobile or a tablet. And you're going to have a range of different questions. So the first one here is just how would you rate the effectiveness of your current go-to-market strategy in aligning with your buyer needs? So here we're thinking about, do we really understand what our buyer is trying to do and the process that they need to go through to acquire any kind of new product or solve the challenges that they're facing? Or are we just focused on our own sales strategy? So here I'm going to say at the moment, we are not very effective. We're ineffective in aligning with our buyers' needs. Now, in these next questions, I'm going to ask you through which of these buyer enablement tools that you provide to your buyers. And these are Gartner's 7, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different types of enablement tools. So there are calculators, diagnostics, connectors, recommenders, advisors, benchmarks, and simulators. And there's descriptions of each of those for you there. You can also come back to these descriptions if you want. And we're just asking here, which of those tools do you provide to your buyers today? So you might say, well, we've got an ROI calculator. We've got a diagnostic tool where someone can fill in some information, but that's all that we have got. Next up is, how do your current buyer enablement tools impact your buyers' perception of your company? As in, when they use these calculators and diagnostic tools, do they feel better about their buying experience and have a better perception of your company, or is it more negative? And importantly, to think here about things like your ROI calculator. Does that ROI calculator stand up in front of the customer as something that's credible, or do they actually think, well, this is just a sales tool? I'm going to say that they're slightly positive about the tools that we provide. Now, let's have a look at the challenges that your sales team are facing in generating top of funnel opportunities. So there are around 8 different items here, and you can literally drag them across and prioritize them. So for our sellers, they have a lack of executive credibility. They're just not very good at speaking to C-level executives. They don't have enough industry knowledge, and lined up to that, the business acumen. In fact, I'm going to put that business acumen up at the top. They're not very good at doing their outbound, and then they've got a lack of competitive differentiation, but they do have quite a lot of product knowledge, and then this lack of personalized advice is going in there, I think. So then we rank those challenges there. I've touched on this earlier. How credible are the outputs from your current buyer enablement tools in the eyes of your buyers? When they see the output from that calculator, that recommender, that diagnostic tool, do they believe that? Do they share that with other people in their organization as valid? Or do they just believe this is something to help a sales company sell more? So I'm going to say not very credible on that one. Now consider which buying personas in your buying group do your current buyer enablement tools address? Is it just the main champion or the person that is buying your product? Or do you also provide enablement tools that address other sets of users? So here I'm going to say, well, we've got a diagnostic tool maybe for the product owner, and then maybe we've got an ROI calculator for the CFO, but that's really about it. In the next question, I'll ask you about the different phases of your buyer's journey. And Gartner breaks down these 6 buyers' jobs to be done. They need to identify a problem. Then they need to go and explore what solutions are out there to help with that problem. Then they need to do some requirements gathering. So what do we need this new thing to do? Then they need to do supplier selection. So does this product do what we need it to do? Then they need validation. We think we know what we need to do, but we need to be sure. And then finally, consensus. We need to get everyone on board. That is the buying process that any company has to go through. And you can provide content and tools, buyer enablement assets that meet each of those needs. So here you're going to be asked, prioritize the phases of the buyer journey that would most benefit from new buyer enablement tools in your organization. So I'm going to say, well, our biggest challenge is problem identification. And then maybe there's requirements gathering as well as another situation where we could provide help. You don't need to drag all of these across. You can just choose 2 or 3 if you want. I'm going to bring 3 across there in that order. Now we've got to prioritize the features or capabilities that you believe are the most important in a buyer enablement tool for driving top of funnel engagement. What is it beyond providing people just with an ebook that is going to make a buyer enablement tool a dynamic and engaging experience that drives top of funnel pipeline? So I think we're going to say, well, we want interactive. It's got to take on information from the buyer, not just one way. And because of that, we want it to provide personalized results. We then want it to be shareable by that customer so that they're saying this is something that's really valuable. We probably want them to be able to access it through the web, and then PDF reports down the bottom here. And then we want it to suggest specific bits of content for that customer. Up here, we actually want a personalized review meeting where our salesperson is able to provide that. And then it would be great if this automatically scored the lead, depending, in fact, I'm going to bring that up, to point it to the right team and prioritize it based on what the buyer puts in that information. And now prioritize the outcomes that you expect from implementing buyer enablement tools. We're not doing this for fun. What is it that you're trying to achieve? What are the metrics? Well, ultimately, we want more top of funnel leads. And having created those leads, we want to increase the executive engagement. We want to actually provide business insight, business acumen to these customers. Because of that, we want a better opportunity conversion rate, and we want these sales to move faster. We hope that this will increase our sellers being able to ramp because we're giving them these tools, and that will create better lead qualification. So we want a bigger deal size up here, and then better sales and marketing alignment down the bottom there. I think that would be, top of funnel leads, better executive engagement, which I think is going to give us a bigger deal size, which is what we want, and a faster deal. And then they'll convert at a higher rate. And then put in my details. And complete. And I'm just in preview mode here, but what you will see is that you will immediately be able to download a report, which will be this. So 14 pages, 12 pages of content created for me. And here you will get some guidance about what this report is, how it can be shared, what the structure of it is, and then a bit of background into some of those jobs to be done and the explanations that we talked about from Gartner about the job that, or the process that a buyer has to go through. And now on each of these pages, you will see some personalized results based on the input that you provided. So how would you rate the effectiveness of your current go-to-market strategy? And here we've got this, and then some personalized advice and content based on what you have suggested. So that is your quick tour through the new buyer enablement assessment. 9 questions that should be fairly easy for you to answer just off the top of your head. And out of that, you'll then receive some personalized advice that you can then share around your organization as you start to plan your new buyer enablement tools. Any questions, just get in touch with me at RevOpsCharlie.com or charlie@RevOpsCharlie.com.